So Kevin, employee experience, really important, but often looked at solely through the lens of HR. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I came up through HR and organizational change before I moved into branding and go-to-market work. And what's really interesting is that people talk about employee experience, and it has everything to do with creating a great workplace and providing the right benefits, providing the right culture, providing the right training and development to create an employee experience that makes people very, very productive and makes people satisfied at work and give discretionary effort. And that's all 100% right and has to be done, but it ignores what I consider the other 50% of employee experience, which is you have a customer experience as a brand that you're making, a promise you're making to the marketplace, and you could make a list of the 5 or 10 things that you think have to be done in the organization to deliver on that promise. Well, who's delivering on that promise in most organizations? Most of the time it's the employees. And what are you doing that either helps or hinders your employees to deliver on that customer experience? And it's something that so many HR directors and CMOs need to start working together on, because the focus is so relentlessly on the HR side of things that it's not touching the actual customer-facing part of the organization. And one example I'll give you that's a real-life example was an organization had a digital contact center, and they had a turnover problem and a performance problem. And they did the surveys and found out, we need to solve a problem. And so what did they do? An agency came up with a communication solution, right? So we're going to talk about our vision and values, and we're going to put up posters, and we're going to send emails, and we're going to have team talks about it. And what happened? Absolutely nothing. The numbers didn't move a bit. What we then went in and did is we said, okay, well, what is your customer experience promise? And it had to do with, being empathetic and understanding the customer and being able to personalize and having the data I need to do my job and having the tools I need all in one place in order to deliver a great customer experience. And what did we find? Some of the customer experience reps were managing 5 different screens when all the money in the organization had been put into the external user experience. And in some cases, the customer had better visibility of their own data than the person in the contact center had. And we said, that's a problem. You wonder why people are leaving and getting frustrated and getting yelled at by people day after day on the phone? Why don't you fix some of your IT issues? Why don't you fix some of your how you manage performance in the organization? And suddenly, guess what? The numbers started to change because they were removing obstacles to the employees delivering on the customer experience that they were supposed to be delivering on.
So important, isn't it? I think we hear this a lot from the employees that we engage with through some of the tools that we use, and really big, bold brand promises that really cut through in the market. But the reality for most employees in terms of their ability to deliver on those promises, it often feels like they've got one hand tied behind their back. And I agree completely in terms of what you're saying around this is often not a comms solution. You really have to dig deep, and you have to understand what are the barriers or the obstacles that are getting in the way of people being able to deliver those solutions that you're saying that you can provide to customers. And it starts with listening to people. It's as simple as that. Asking employees, where are the blockers? Where are the barriers? What's preventing them from being able to deliver the best possible service? Because people want to deliver great work. People want to deliver exceptional for their clients, but often it's the system or the environment that is working against them.
Yeah, and I might be going out on shaky ground here because I might offend some people, but one of the reasons I get frustrated is that, to your point, it's treated like it's a communication problem, and therefore we're going to add a communication solution. And all too often, as we've advanced through our careers, we've become management consultants. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's that mindset of, wait a minute, what's the problem? What's stopping us from solving the problem, and how are we going to solve the problem? Which I think the digital contact center is a great example of saying, I'm not looking at this as a communication problem. What's happening? Right? What's the problem we're trying to solve? Figure out how to solve it. Now, the key, I think, in that situation is the second thing, which is if we had been just management consultants, we would have gone in and solved the problem and sent out a manual on what you need to do with your new IT system. That's where the trick is. That's where the skill set of a brand consultancy versus a management consultancy or a comms agency comes to the fore, because we then said, now we're going to tell that story to the entire organization using the language of our brand, using the language of our vision and our values. Why are we making this change? We're going to make your lives easier. Why are we making your lives easier? Because we're making a promise to our customers. And there's no way we're going to deliver on that promise if you can't do your jobs. Very different from, we have now integrated the 3 CRM systems and the customer database, so you now have full visibility and you can cut 10 seconds off your call time. Right? Big difference in how you communicate it.
And that's where the opportunity to link it back to the vision and the brand and wrapping it around that bigger story that the organization is trying to cascade and really get people to believe in. I think connecting it back up so the brand is always that red thread. Whatever challenge or whatever initiative you're working on, that's what starts to build real momentum. We've just done a fascinating project for a professional services firm as well, again, who have got a very bold brand promise, but again, very similar things that we were hearing from people around. The reality is in my day-to-day, I'm not able to deliver this because I'm in meetings all day, or I'm juggling this, or I'm fighting my way through red tape and process. And there's a really interesting piece that we're doing around looking at their customer experience, and their customer experience has a mantra of 5 clicks or less. So organizations are always trying to make things really seamless and buyable from a customer perspective. So why not take that and use that from an internal perspective? So when we're looking at the employee experience, we've now got this theme in our head of 5 clicks or less. How do we remove stuff? It's not about adding things in, it's about taking things away and creating an environment where your people can do the work that they want to do and their best work. And if they do that, your clients will be happier and you'll see growth as a business.